Well, welcome to the First Unitarian Society on this balmy Sunday morning in September in Minneapolis, Minnesota. On this morning when we take intentional time to appreciate the many gifts we receive from one another in community. Connection and belonging are critical to our very survival. So everything we offer in service to one another matters deeply. That's why it's so important that you are here today. As we begin, may those of us who are newcomers to this land be mindful that we live and work and play on the traditional lands of the native peoples who have been here for millennia. Here at FUS, we are on Dakota Oyate territory, and it's the Dakota as well as the Ojibwe and other indigenous people who have cared for the land and the lakes and the Wakpatanka, the Mississippi River, for thousands of years before the arrival of Europeans. And we live in gratitude for all of the indigenous teachings they have offered to us. May we recognize with humility the privilege we're afforded by living in this beautiful place. First Unitarian Society is a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations, and I'm Reverend Jullan Stoneberg, your Interim Minister. I use she, her pronouns. You know, I long for a time when I won't have to again say that it's been another tough week. It's natural, really, to want to turn away from all the violence and the vitriol, yet I insist on taking inspiration from German theologian, liberation theologian, Dietrich, who said this of apathy and isolation. We are destroyed most thoroughly by that affliction that robs us of any possibility of loving any longer. The capacity we need the most is the capacity to keep on loving, unquote. Love is at the center of this faith, and so we gather, we show up. For those of you who are new with us, an especially warm welcome to you. Please join us after the assembly for our weekly mini meal in the lower assembly hall. And if you'd like to connect more, you can stop by the office to sign up to receive our newsletter so that you can be in the loop about everything that's happening here. Now, we are a multi-generational community, and today is the last of our summer programming for youth of all ages. They are gathering downstairs before heading out into the parks on some explorations and adventures. And next Sunday is our intergenerational fall equinox celebration, which means that our regular kids programming begins on the 28th. And of course, there is always room for families and kids here in the assembly hall. We welcome your movements, your sounds, your participation. And if you so choose or need, childcare is available a few doors down the hall to the left. And now I invite you, whoever you are, wherever you are, to take a moment to welcome the morning, to greet those around you, and to introduce yourselves to someone you don't know. You can wave to that camera to greet those online. There's also a QR code soon on the screen to access an order of service. So welcome all and say hello. Let us breathe together. As we settle into this time and space, let's center ourselves with these opening words from Monica Jacobson Tennyson. Welcome. Whatever you bring, who you are, enriches us all. We say welcome to your joy, your hope, your pride. We say welcome to your grief, your fear, your anger, and the parts of you that are not yet ready to be seen and heard. Welcome to them as well. For we are people of faith. Faith in this expansive welcome, faith in our ability to grow, faith in the precious gift of our truths, faith in the promise of trying and learning and changing, faith in our capacity to know ourselves and each other ever deeply. Welcome to you who are gay, straight, bi, pan, lesbian, queer, questioning, unable to be contained in any word. Welcome to you who are trans, cis, genderqueer, non-binary, intersex, agender, beyond words. Welcome to you who are human. Welcome to you who love and are loved. Welcome to you who are blessed, which is all of you. May this time together be a time of meaning and blessing. When Unitarian Universalists gather, we light a flaming chalice, one symbol with many meanings, the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. For this congregation, the chalice also reminds us to live according to several aspirations. As Jackie comes to light our chalice flame, I invite you to read with me the words on the screen, First Unitarian Society's first aspiration. We aspire to live joyfully and ethically in loving, reverent relationship with humanity and with nature. We aspire to live joyfully and ethically in loving, reverent relationship together. Our chalice flame is lit in our hearts and in this space and wherever we are gathered. And typically at this point in the assembly, we have read a standard congregational covenant. And in some recent conversations, it's become clear that not everyone is comfortable with its words, and no one seems to know when or how it was adopted as a covenant for FUS. So, last week, and again this week, and maybe next week, and maybe the week after, I'm going to invite you to read some different words, words that have a similar flavor but different emphasis. In a few weeks, we'll explore the question of covenant more deeply. So as we read, consider what feels right or challenging about these words. This particular covenant was written by J.E. Abernathy. So all together now. We affirm that love is our greatest purpose. Accepting one another is the truest form of faithful living. The search for truth is our constant star. We pledge our hearts, minds, and hands to challenge injustice with courage, to find hope in times of fear, and to live out our UU values every day as a beloved community. Thus we do covenant with each other and with all that is sacred in life. Thank you, Jackie. So this morning we have something of a composer laureate because two of our congregational songs were written by Jason Shelton. With this first one, if you happen to have a Teal songbook, you'll notice a change in the lyrics. It was first published as Standing on the Side of Love, and Shelton chose to rewrite the words in response to becoming aware of his unconscious bias, a bias that's often hidden in words like standing, words that are ableist. And so we sing, answering the call of love. I invite you to rise in body and or spirit to sing. It's number 1014, and the updated words are on the screen.
First Unitarian Society is a congregational humanist community. We are here for each other, our neighbors, and our planet, and one manifestation of that is our caring team. My name is Claire Nyquist. I am a member of that team. We're here for you, and we welcome new members to our team. So come see us at the involvement fair after the assembly. There is always both joy and hardship in our midst. If at any time there's something happening in your life that you'd like to share with the care team or with this community, or if you need some support, please call the FUS office or send a note to joysandconcerns@firstunitarian.org. You can also be in touch with us using the contact form on our website. After the assembly, you're invited to stop by the card basket downstairs to send a note to folks you're especially thinking of today. I have several things to share this morning. With a very sad heart, Sandy Martin tells us that her husband Ken's father passed away on Tuesday morning. He had a brief bout with pneumonia a couple of weeks ago and was hospitalized then. His health quickly deteriorated after that when his other organs were affected. Ken is in Virginia now with his mom and brother. Bob Martin was a very kind man and will be remembered fondly. A memorial service may take place in the future in Virginia. Adele Hansen sends a message that she is with her daughter's family in West Lafayette, Indiana, anticipating knee reconstruction surgery on Tuesday, then recovering at the family's home. She would appreciate email messages of support for her recovery. Ann Beecher, your BOT secretary, is recovering from a surprise appendectomy. Is there any other kind? That happened Thursday morning. She's doing well and kind of back on her feet. A fast recovery to Anne. You're invited in the following moments of silence. Oh, I have one more thing. We would also like to wish Alan Steinhauer a happy birthday today. He is collecting funds for gun control on his Facebook page. You're invited in the following moments of silence to reflect on all the joys, losses, griefs, and milestones in our lives, in the lives of those we love, and in the lives of all beings everywhere. We take this time that we might connect with our shared humanity, to embrace and celebrate the beautiful range of human diversity, to commit ourselves to showing up for those who need support, and to remember all who are suffering, here and around the world. A moment of silence.
It feels especially appropriate to sing about loving kindness today. You may remain seated as we sing, but first Amos is going to play this through once so that we can get it in our ears.
Our wisdom moment this morning is taken from an article by a UCC minister in Kentucky, Erin Wathen. Understandably, she uses Christian language, so put on your Google Translator. Here she wonders about the word volunteer. She says, I was writing my weekly note to the congregation. Usually in this note, I share a few words about the message for Sunday so that we can all be reflecting on the same topic throughout the week. But this week, it was more of a thank you note, because when I think about how much work my church folks did over the last few weeks to get our place ready for Easter, it blows my mind. And as I look around the property, I can see the fruits of many hours of shared labor. Sparkling windows and floors, finely manicured landscaping, dramatic paraments hung with a complex pulley system by dedicated house elves in the wee hours. And then I start thinking about the work of the worship team, the children's ministry team, and musicians, not to mention greeters, handshakers, bulletin hander-outers, and coffee makers, and the youth group out there hiding eggs for the little ones. Plus more behind-the-scenes workers I have not mentioned. Just thinking about it makes me overwhelmed with gratitude. It's enough to make my mascara run. In writing this note to my people, I wrote that it takes a whole village of volunteers to make all this happen. But then I found myself hitting the backspace button, because volunteer is not quite the right word for what our people do at church. I know I'm not the only one who cringes when someone sees me without kids in tow and asks if my husband is babysitting. Well, no. I mean, yes, he is at home with the kids tonight, but I do not think you can effectively say babysitting when it's your own dang kid. I'd say we could just call that parenting. I feel the same when people talk about volunteering at church. And yes, I know it's just a word, but it's the wrong word for a lot of reasons. If you ask a grandparent or an elder of your church, I'm pretty sure they will tell you that the church they grew up in never asked them to volunteer. Historically, the church has asked people to serve, as deacons, as greeters, as Sunday school teachers, or on the property committee. Whatever the job, it was considered a service, a ministry. The language of volunteerism is a pretty recent addition to the church lexicon. Volunteering is something you're asked to do right off the bat. It gets folks engaged. That's a good thing. But I balk at the secular nature of what it means to volunteer. To volunteer means that you are an outside resource, stepping in to help an organization in need. Volunteering is what we do when we pick up trash at the park, or build a house with habitat, or help sort food at the local food pantry. Volunteering is what I do at my kids' schools on Fridays. In other words, it's what you do at a place that is important to you, but not at a place that belongs to you. And I guess that is the important distinction for me. You cannot volunteer at your own church in the same way you cannot babysit your own kid, because the church belongs to you in the same way your family does. It's your own place, your own people. So of course you help take care of it. Of course you do yard work and make coffee and teach the kids and sing in the choir and whatever else it is you do for the home and the people that you love. All that said, we live in the world we live in, and we cannot realistically extract the word volunteer from the life of the church. It is both a noun and a verb, and it's the one that just rolls off the tongue when we are asking people to come and do work, which we are forever asking people to do. Still, I feel a strong nudge to challenge how we talk about and think about the time and energy we spend in ministry. It's important to recognize those gifts for what they are, ministry. And I'm not sure the word volunteer does justice to the depths contained in the work people actually do in their churches. Call it serving, call it discipleship. But whatever we do, we should remember that we don't just belong to the church, it belongs to us. And we do not babysit that which is ours.
Whatever you call it, volunteering, ministry, discipleship, stewarding, service, all that you give to this community means that there is a community here. It really couldn't exist without you. And so I joined with Suzanne, our membership director, now starting her third year here at FUS. Join her in honoring all of our volunteers.
One of my main roles here, in conjunction with the membership committee, is promoting engagement at FUS. That is helping you find just the right fit to plug into our community. Engagement in over 40 committees, affinity groups, and social justice teams is crucial to our mission of serving one another, the Twin Cities, and beyond. On the screen, you should be able to see shortly all or most of these committees and groups.
So I ask those of you who have been or are currently part of a team or a group, or if you serve in your own individual way, to please stand up so that we can show you our appreciation with our applause. To further offer appreciation today for everyone who makes and keeps FUS alive and kicking, please join us in a responsive litany, adapted from one written by J. Libby. And as you respond with these words, you are appreciated and loved. Please let those words sink in for you, even as you say them to others. You are appreciated and loved.
When there was a need, you came forward.
You are appreciated and loved. In the nighttime or daytime, on weekends, and even in the coldest, darkest part of the year, you helped. You are appreciated and loved.
Elected and duly appointed, or quietly, anonymously, and unbidden, you did what needed doing.
You are appreciated and loved. Sometimes with the help of many hands, other times alone, you worked. You are appreciated and loved.
You gave your time, talent, and even your treasure for the life of this congregation.
You are appreciated and loved. For all things great and small, you have given this congregation. We take time today to say it loud, clear, and often. We shout it out.
You are appreciated and loved. Today is just one chosen day to celebrate all who serve at FUS, yet we appreciate you every day. If you're interested in learning more about our groups and opportunities, please grab some lunch after assembly and then join us in the Chalice Room for our annual involvement fair. To mark the occasion today, we encourage everyone to take a button to wear and bring home. There are several variations that will be passed out. For example, I came, I saw, I served. Congregational Humanist, or simply, I love FUS. We will pass the buttons down in baskets through the rows, and you may choose what you like. Enjoy.
So now, a treat offered by some of our beautiful volunteers, those who sing in the Chalice Choir. This is their first time singing with us since June, and it's a joy to receive their gift of song. wonder if you think of this community as yours, as in you own it, as in this is your home. I don't mean that you, any of you, exclusively, you own it, as if any one of you had the power to make all the decisions and to do things exactly your way. What I mean is that this community, this building, this vision for the world, this staff, this fiscal responsibility, this commitment to humanism, all of this is owned by you collectively, all together. Now, if any of you have ever lived communally, whatever that means to you, be it as a family or a chosen family or intentional community, you know how difficult it is to do things collectively. It can be infuriating, it can be time-consuming, it can be conflictual, and it's really the only way to build community, to ensure belonging for all. That is to act together for the well-being of the whole. Not an easy thing. One of my favorite novels is The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. Those of you who have read the book or seen the movie may recall that Lily, the young runaway protagonist, is taken in by three sisters, August and June and May, who keep bees and make honey and live in a Pepto-Bismol colored house. One day, Lily and August, after a long afternoon labeling honey jars, walk out to the hives to do bee patrol. And here's a short passage from that book in the voice of Lily. "There's one thing I don't get," I said. "What's that?" "How come if your favorite color is blue, you painted your house pink?" She laughed. "That was May's doing. She was with me the day I went to the paint store to pick out the color. I had a nice tan color in mind, but May latched on to this sample called Caribbean pink. She said it made her feel like dancing a Spanish flamenco. And I thought, well, this is the tackiest color I have ever seen. And we'll have half the town talking about us. But if it can lift May's heart like that, I guess she ought to live inside it." "All this time I just figured you like pink," I said. She laughed again. "You know, some things don't matter that much, Lily, like the color of a house. How big is that in the overall scheme of life? But lifting a person's heart, now that matters. The whole problem with people is they don't know what matters and what doesn't," I said, filling in her sentence and feeling proud of myself for doing so. I was gonna say, the problem is they know what matters, but they don't choose it. You know how hard that is, Lily? I love May, but it was still so hard to choose Caribbean pink. The hardest thing on earth is choosing what matters. Now, it seems to me that choosing to work together collectively means being able to choose what matters over what we might want as individuals. My preferred word for this is stewardship, a word that is often used in the context of caring for the earth. And we might think of stewardship as a three-legged stool, which requires three legs in order to stand. One leg is something to care for. One leg is someone to care for that thing. And the third leg is someone or something for whom the caring is done. In other words, something that matters. Being stewards is tending to what matters. But maybe a stool is too static of a symbol. Stewardship is fluid, perhaps more like one of those recycling symbols. Because to live in the spirit of stewardship is to see the big picture of our interrelatedness, to see that what has flowed to us flows through us and on to others. In that kind of fluidity, we are the bee and the honey and the beekeeper, and we are never really in only one role. To live as stewards is not simply about giving, but rather is to consciously and gratefully enter into a stream that flows toward us and through us, and which continues on in service to all that will follow us. Now, there's a bee that deeply impacted me in childhood, Mr. Doobie from Romper Room. His insipid reminder to buzz around all day doing everything right. I always do everything right. I never do anything wrong. I'm a romper-room doobie, a doobie all day long. Now, I swallowed Mr. Doobie's message, hook, line, and stinger. It is a message that I am still constantly in conversation with, sometimes blindly following along, then embracing it and then questioning it and then honoring it and then resisting it again. There is a hard truth to be found in the relationship between how we spend our time, that is what we do, how we give of ourselves, what we think about, and the degree to that which is, and the degree to which something is important to us. But the truth is, we aren't here just to be doobies. We don't exist as a community in order to have a place to volunteer, or a place to create working groups, or to go to meetings, or even to gather on Sunday mornings. Rather, we give, we serve, we come on Sundays because what this community is and what it stands for matters to us. It's our home. Because of the honey it provides, the honey we make together, and the honey we're setting in store for future generations. We're here because we found here the honey of life in all its sweetness and life-giving properties. We're here to experience that kind of belonging. We're here to be stewards of the good news of humanism, a message that insists that all creatures, beings, have a place, a message of the freedom of thought and the right of each person to search for that meaning, a message that this beautiful creation is a web of interconnection from which we all benefit and for which we all have responsibility in the here and now. This is sometimes radical and controversial and a countercultural message, and amid societal changes, increasing political violence, toxic and nonstop mass media, and increasing demands on our time and our attention, this community faces greater and greater challenges in sharing its message. Remember what August said to Lily, that the problem is that we know what matters and we don't choose it? What would it take for us to choose stewardship of this community as a priority? What would it take for us to paint our house bright pink, because that is what would lift someone's spirit? I know you are here today because you chose to be here. You chose to come and participate in this community over all the other choices out there. You could have stayed in bed, gone out for a hike, countless other things. You chose to be here because it matters to you to be here, because you believe this community matters, and it matters that you're here. The voice of Mr. Doobie keeps pushing us to do, and yet, and of course, sometimes doing is a way of being. Stewardship, as I said, is fluid. We receive, we tend, we give, we tend, we receive, all in one continual motion, a motion that at its best can hardly distinguish between the giving and the receiving and the giving. And thankfully, the voice of this community also pushes us to be, to be grateful, to be joyful, to be authentic, to love and be loved, to serve as a lifestyle, as a way of being. How do we know what matters most? I believe Unitarian Universalism believes that each of us determines that for ourselves, that within each heart and mind is a conscience that guides, a light that shines, a bee that buzzes, so that we may know what is right and what is true and what's important. And this community is here to support one another as we search for what is right and what is true and what it is that matters. And when we can grow into that reality, it will be natural, I hope, for us all to choose to be stewards of this place together. And in order to serve the future, I think we have to be willing to let go of some of the past. Those of us who are in the baby boom and builder generations need to see it as our responsibility to make this place accessible and relevant for the younger generations, for those who come. And implied in that is maybe that we have to give up what we want it to look like in service of what they want and need. A community that looks the way it has always looked and acted the way it has always acted isn't going to be relevant for the coming generations. For newcomers to feel they belong, we may just have to help them paint the house pink. Now, I don't mean that there's no place here for us of the older crowd, or that our needs cannot be addressed. Quite the contrary, we're all needed. But it does mean that with an open attitude, we might just grow in some unexpected ways and experience life-giving surprises. Life-giving surprises, living into stewardship as a way of life, acting together in community as a way of life. The times are tough, the needs are great. And this place, First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis, has a unique and important role to play. This past week, UUA President Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt shared these words. Choosing to gather in community with others who would put the ideals of love itself first, over hatred, over violence, or the misuse of power and control, is itself a revolutionary act. I'm not saying that love alone will save us. My prayer is that the power of love will remind us to save ourselves. Let us act in revolutionary ways. Let us choose love and all that love can do. Let us be stewards of this community. I currently have this quote from Adrienne Marie Brown at the bottom of my email signature. The days are all too heavy, and then we lift together. All together. May it be so. So now we're going to sing another Jason Shelton song, and Mike tells me that some of you may not know this one, so we'll sing, you'll catch on, and we'll do it another time soon if you like. So please rise in body and or spirit to sing The Fire of Commitment. It's number 1024 in the Teal Book. So again, all together. Or did I say the wrong? 1028.
Hi, everyone. My name is Joyce Reed Essel. My pronouns are she and her. And I came to First Unitarian Society the first service in January of 2011. And I had been, in effect, homeless since we left Oklahoma in 1978. And that first assembly proved to me that I'd finally found my home and my community. First Unitarian Society is a free, independent, and self-governing humanist community. Our mission is to foster a free search for knowledge and meaning, to strive for justice, and to serve one another, the Twin Cities, and beyond. It is important that you know that your financial support is an important element in bringing our shared vision into reality. To give, you can use the QR code on the screen, which will take you to our online giving form, where you can designate how you'd like your donation to be used, or you can stop by the office or mail in your donation. And please feel free to reach out to us with any questions about giving to First Unitarian Society. As the baskets are passed, you are invited to give generously and joyfully as you are willing and able. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Phil Duran, a member of your ministerial search team. As you know, we've been designated by the FUS board and by you, the congregation, to lead the effort of finding our next senior minister. I'm here to remind you of 3 critical opportunities for each of you to be involved. First, we've already had very strong response to the anonymous survey regarding your perceptions of FUS and your priorities for a new senior minister. Thank you. Members and contributing friends have received a link by email. The information is also available to all in the Friday update. Please take a few moments to complete it by September 28th. Second, thank you to all who have already registered for one of the focus groups, which seek more in-depth discussions and about the direction people hope this process takes. Groups will take place on weekdays and weekends, daytimes and evenings, in-person and virtual, even one at Retreat to the Woods. We ask people to sign up for one time slot, and remember that every voice in the household is valued. The link to sign up is in the member contributor email and in the Friday update. Finally, please join us for an important free workshop on equity offered by the UUA on Saturday, October 4th, here at FUS from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. This will not only help inform our search process, but also help FUS maintain an equity lens on all our efforts moving forward. Breakfast is included for those in person, and while we hope as many people as possible will join us in person, a virtual option is available. Please follow the same sign-up link you used for the focus groups. There's a lot going on, and we hope you'll be a part of it. Please visit the search team webpage on our website. A QR code is on the screen. Or our information table, we're in the lower assembly hall this morning, not the Chalice Room. We're in the lower assembly hall during mini-meal, today and next Sunday, for more information about the survey, focus groups, equity workshop, and about the search process overall. We can also help people complete the survey or register for the other programs if they need assistance. Thank you.
It's that time of year again. Registration has started for Retreat to the Woods. Join us at beautiful Baker Outdoor Learning Center in Medina, Minnesota, for a weekend of fellowship, relaxation, and renewal. You will enjoy food, hiking and biking trails, canoeing, nearby lakes, and a few interesting and varied workshops in a quiet and protected setting surrounded by 3,300 acres of marshes, meadows, and mature forest. The settlement is about 30 minutes west of Minneapolis. The site has a tenting area and 8 log cabins. Each cabin has a wood-burning stove and 8 bunk beds with mattresses. There are modern composting toilet facilities and a shower facility near the cabins, as well as full restrooms at the main lodge. Baker does not allow pets. The retreat is a family-friendly, all-volunteer event for and by members of FUS and friends. Being a communal endeavor, we ask that all attendees 13 and older contribute to its success by pitching in to do a one-time assigned task. Tasks range from 15 minutes to 1 hour in duration. In this way, we can keep costs down and all enjoy working, relaxing, and communing with one another and nature. You can register for this year's retreat now. There will be a table with information and registration forms during the mini-meal today and on September 14th. Stop by with any questions and grab a registration form. You can also register and pay online on the FUS website under Events/Retreat to the Woods. Deadline for registration is September 14th. We look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, and today is September 14th. For those of you who are not with us in person, I hope that you have some lovely plans to enjoy the rest of the afternoon, maybe by sharing time in nature or with some friends. But for those in person, I really hope that you'll stick around to take part in our annual involvement fair, which is an opportunity for you to learn about all the inner workings here at FUS and to imagine where you might like to plug in and help. And to give you sustenance for that, this being a second Sunday, you can join us downstairs shortly for a surprise mini-meal that is full of compassion and simplicity and generosity. Today we eat simply so that others might simply eat. And this is possible because once a month, half of our Sunday kitchen volunteers join forces with those at Plymouth Congregational and St. Mark's Cathedral to provide a glorious meal for folks in our community who might otherwise go hungry. Funds collected for today's mini-meal go towards our efforts to provide a free second Sunday dinner at Plymouth Congregational Church for those in need. So please give generously. We do need some smiling faces of all ages and varieties for a group photo representing FUS for use in a new online landing page. So right after the assembly, we'll take that photo right up here in the upper assembly hall. By participating in this, you're granting your permission to appear in the photo on our website. So if you can help out, please stick around. Join people over by the windows right after closing words, and we sure thank you for your participation. Finally, note that our gallery artist, Rebecca Pavlenko, will give a talk about her art in the gallery with accompaniment from Leo Hansen on the shakuhachi flute. And that's at 12:15, right outside the doors in the gallery. So now, taking all of this into your heart, soaking in all that we've shared today, hold each other in love as our choir sings of love. So let us wrap up our time together in this space by extinguishing our chalice. Please join Jackie and me in speaking the words on the screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. All of these we carry in our hearts and in our minds until we are together again. So with gratitude for all who made today's assembly possible and with appreciation for all that each of you contributes to the life of this community, I offer you these closing words by Lindsay Bates, slightly adapted. The Quakers speak not of a worship service, but of their meeting. And here at FUS, we speak not of a worship service, but of our assembly, and hence these closing words. With faith in the creative powers of life, with hope for the future of life in this world, with love for all others who share this life with us, let us go forward in peace. Our assembly has ended. Let our service begin. Go now and rejoice in the power of the human spirit. May it be so. Hey, how are you doing?
Shit. Put it on. Okay. So. So where's NASA? Oh shit. Okay, everybody. Nasser, are you here? Okay, Nasser? Yep, we have a photographer volunteering his time to help with this. So let's all sit on this section. Those under 50, towards the aisle. Okay, so